Welcome back to Hintzes in the House.
This is a podcast.
This is a podcast. I may or may not have something in my eye, so if you're watching this, sorry that I keep touching my eye if that freaks you out. Great.
I have something in my eye.
You do.
It's my eye.
Ah, well, that's
My eye is in there.
groundbreaking, revolutionary. So something that's...
see what I did there?
Do you see? Oh, goodness. Okay, so something that's been circulating, as it is the beginning of the year, is the 10-year challenge. I put that in quotes.
Right. What it really is the government wants updated pictures on everyone.
Probably.
So they're like, hey, do the 10-year challenge. So you post a picture 10 years ago and a picture now, and then they can add that all to their databases and have
tabs on
current pictures of what you look like, what you used to look like. That way, if you need to go on the lam, they know exactly what you look like.
You know, I would, contest that, but you're probably right. That's probably 100% true.
It's been a while since we've had some challenge where people have to post pictures of themselves. True. And so you have
and I was just thinking about it, and, the last time I did it was 2019 when I did the 10-year challenge on the socials. So it's been a whole 3 years since then. And they're like, what do people look like? We don't know. That's probably true. And so that I think it's a pretty popular beginning of year thing for that sort of deal to be circulating between...
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My New Year's resolution was to do the 10-year challenge, and I failed again. Always next year, I guess.
So let's, in theory, transport ourselves back to the year 2012. Oh, that was a good time travel noise.
Sure, yeah.
I'm thinking of
if anyone's shooting a movie and you need some time travel sound effects, I'm your guy.
I'm thinking of Squidward and when he goes in the box. Future. Great.
What's in the box?
Different movie.
Obviously, yes. I know that what's in the box is not from SpongeBob. Can we all just
imagine, though, that movie set in SpongeBob universe?
I haven't ever seen the What's in the Box movie.
But I'm already imagining it being, so good in all the worst ways. Okay, anyway.
7? It's based on the 7 deadly sins or something. Yeah. The last one is murder, and he kills the guy's wife trying to get him to murder him.
Sorry to spoil it for everyone who...
Which is
whatever. Neither of us have seen this, and we know this, but it's his wife's head in the box.
If the 7th deadly sin is murder, wouldn't him murdering the wife have fulfilled the sin?
I guess so. I don't know. I don't know the rest of the premise of the movie.
Neither do I. I just know it's the 7 deadly sins.
I just know his wife's head is in the box.
Yeah, I know. We don't have to keep talking about the head.
Sorry.
Isn't that kind of
Okay, podcast? So, back to time travel.
Pew.
Thanks. The year is 2012, and Obama is in his second term, or he's about to be elected or something. I don't know. I don't remember how that worked.
Okay, great story.
Thanks. I am in my senior year of high school, so are you. And, I'm in the second half of my senior year of high school.
Sure. Yeah.
And we're about to graduate. It's a good time.
I'm maybe in the first half of my year of college.
By the end of the year, yeah. But let's say January 2012. I just turned 17. 17 was a very good year for me. I really liked being 17. So
I just turned.
You'll be 18
in 11 months.
Yes, you'll be in January of 2012. You'll be 18 in a few.
This month,
yeah,
I'm
a few weeks.
336 months old.
That's a lot. Why did you have that information?
Is that right?
I don't know. Anyway, other things that are popular. What's popular in 2012? Everyone thinks the world is going to end because that Mayan calendar thing. Anchors are popular. If you're watching, we've got a little anchor.
Yeah, 336 months old.
Secret book. Anchors
have always been popular.
Well,
ever since boats were invented. No, ever since the boats were invented, anchors were pretty popular.
Yeah, but I just feel like it escalated around this time. At least for our generation. I got an anchor tattoo that year, so whatever. It was my first one. It wasn't until I was 18. It was later.
There was a time when we first started going to our current church, Central Church downtown, that we met with the pastor and his wife, Bill and Anya. We were at their house having dinner, and they were just talking about our tattoos. And Pastor Bill, he was like... he was just remarking he never got a tattoo, but he wasn't sure if he would maybe get one at some time. He's like, I didn't want to get something that I wouldn't be meaningless to me. He's like, I'm going to get something stupid like an anchor. And, we keep having the conversation. And I was like, yeah, who would get a stupid anchor tattoo? And he's like, yeah, as I was saying it, I saw that you had an anchor tattoo. And I was like, oh, crap.
Which is great, because I also,
right.
yeah,
and
we
then you
both
have an anchor
tattoos, which is great. Mine is biblical. It says the reference.
Us millennials.
That's just, what are you going to do?
Mine is just because anchors
are cool.
Keep boats in places, so.
That's great. Look at you.
I'm basically a boat. I'm anchored here.
I'm basically a boat. Listen, you're a boat for me. What? You're an anchor for me if I'm the boat. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
You are a boat. Oh, it's been a long time. So yeah, 2012, 10-year challenge. I try to think back to, I was just looking at photos of my 17th birthday, also found on Facebook. And holy crap, I was such a different person. I mean, so much of everyone is a different person 10 years ago,
I had no facial hair.
Okay.
Well, I probably was just starting to get, sideburns.
Right.
My sideburns came in first. A lot of guys get, mustache first.
And you got sideburns
my
first?
sideburns came in first. And then
I wonder if that's why,
chin strap.
I wonder if that's why, most men's mustaches now are terrible, because they, peaked already. And your mustache is great.
I mean, my mustache definitely, came in before, the rest of my face filled in. But I think sideburns were what I specifically remember.
When you go straight mustache, it is
shave.
Tom Selleck status. 100%.
Not as good as Tom Selleck, but
it's just maybe not as dark.
It's not as bad
thick.
as
thick with two C's. I'm telling you
that.
Yeah.
No, it's not that thick.
Listen, I will tell you guys, for Easter last year, all of the guys in our friend group decided, let's all just go mustache.
Let's not get on the topic of Easter.
Oh. I'm sorry. I didn't know there was a problem.
It's a pagan holiday.
Okay. Anyway, that's not the point. The
Passover.
Okay. The point of the story is all the guys decided to go mustache only for just Easter Sunday or whatever, and Ethan put them all to shame. Just how it is. And they were all like, oh, we should not have done this against Ethan. And they were all right. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
Yeah, take that, all you losers.
We love you, losers. But your mustaches are not as good as Ethan's. That's just how it is. So in 2012, what were we up to? We did not know each other yet. I just, in February 2012, gotten accepted into Ocean's Edge. So I was about to start my journey to Florida.
I was spending the 17th year, well, I guess technically the 15th year of my life in Florida.
Yes. So I was about to head down south, and
I was about to stay down south.
The summer, I
never thought I'd leave.
Yeah, truly. In the summer, I hung out with.
You can we go fishing, we go swimming in the sea. No.
Great. I had a group of friends that I would volunteer with at church, and I would hang out with them pretty much the whole summer.
In North Carolina?
Yep, in North Carolina. I volunteered in the sound booth. I wasn't doing sound. I was doing ProPresenter.
But I did sound.
Yeah, there you go.
I did everything, actually.
That's probably true.
Here, let me just run it back to 17-year-old Ethan running the sound booth.
See, there you go. That's the thing you can talk about that you did.
Well, I joined the sound booth when I was in 6th grade.
Run it way back.
So that would have been up to that point, 7 years roughly in the sound booth. And so at this point, so usually in the middle school sound booth, you were only allowed to serve while you were in middle school.
Okay.
But then I got selected to be a leader, so I was able to be a leader in high school. So I was, just a regular person.
Just a regular person.
Just a regular person for 3 years. And then I became an elevated person.
Oh, yeah. As you do in ministry.
No, but then I became, a leader in the sound booth. And so if you got into high school, they would train you to, actually do sound. If you were going to be a leader, they would train you to do sound.
Sure.
Otherwise, you would just do, video or easy worship. That was what we originally had to use.
Oh, pre-ProPresenter.
Before ProPresenter. Terrible. I don't know when ProPresenter came out. Still trash.
Yeah.
Easy worship was
also probably
better.
Trash.
No, better.
All right.
My opinion, it was better. And lights.
I was running ProPresenter in 2012, so it definitely was around by then.
By then, I think we were starting to get it, but before that, no. Sure. But yeah, just trying to get kids to learn how to do the simplest of tasks in the sound booth. Kind of a nightmare.
Struggle. The struggle is real. I think getting middle schoolers to pay attention to anything is a struggle.
And I mean, I did fine when I was in middle school. I'm sure I wasn't like stellar at it, but I wasn't as bad as some of these kids that started to come up for.
Rip. So yeah, my friends and I, we called ourselves the Booth Kids.
Wow, you guys are so cool.
I know.
You must
so
have been theater kids too.
I don't think any of the rest of them were, just me. Maybe Nathan. Anyway. And then we just hung out for the whole summer. I don't even know what we did. Like, I just remember going to coffee shops and staying up late and like being in my car. All of the typical teenager-y things that you do.
I don't know if at this point I never went to coffee shops. That was like...
Oh, that was like the start of my like, let's go to a coffee shop like trend.
No.
There was one that was like 15, 20 minutes away and it was like worth it to go.
No, yeah, I don't even think I went to Starbucks until you and I were dating.
That's tragic.
Like one of the first times I started.
Oh my gosh.
I went to Starbucks. Because remember I went in and tried to order and didn't really know what I was doing, and then the lady didn't understand me.
True. And I wasn't, I mean, this was a small hole-in-the-wall coffee shop. It was called Wake Forest Coffee Company. That was the first one that I went to. So it was like, this is when it started to become trendy to go.
The first one I remember was going to Warsaw.
Yeah, I remember that one too. Yeah.
It was like the trendy one in South Florida for a while.
Yeah.
Also like Panther Coffee downtown Miami. That got really popular for a while. But who wants to drive 45 minutes plus to go to a coffee shop?
No. Panther was
I guess if you work from home and you want to work from a coffee shop, it's worth it maybe. But
well, if you lived in Miami. But then why do you live?
None of my friends that went to Calgary lived in Miami, as far as I know.
That's also true, yeah. I feel like that was a thing, though, that was starting to be, because this was like post-internet cafe, when that was a thing. I don't know what time of
Friends
life that
was Friends in like the 94 time frame, so like people were still going to coffee shops then.
That's true.
Like, so it was not... I think that we were just getting to the age where I guess so, yeah, that makes sense. When you think about Friends, like, I guess I don't know how exactly old they were.
I think they were all, at the start, they were all like early 20s.
Right, I was going to say, mid to early 20s.
Sure.
So that makes sense as, generation starts to get to mid to early 20s.
That's what they do.
But I tried to, like, get with my friends and, like, play, like, not a lot of sports, but, like, we'd play sports every now and then. Like, we would also just hang out a lot and have, like, chill.
Right.
At, like, usually it was either my house or, like, maybe the Zerschmied's house.
Sure. And this was in that, like, teenager-y.
Right. But we would, like, a lot of times people would get together and want to, like, do, like, jam sessions.
Oh,
and
sure.
it was just, like...
For what?
Right. It was just kind of like...
Was this the era of swing dancing for you?
I think swing dancing maybe came a little bit after this.
Where you burned all your friendships to the ground?
I didn't burn any friendships to the ground.
Sorry, they burned your friendship to the ground?
No one burned my friendship to the ground. Swing dancing stole it from me.
Swing dancing. What a sneaky snake.
Never been, never will.
A tragedy, really, because swing dancing is so much fun. But you're just hell-bent on never doing it because it stole your friendships, which is fine.
It's not even...
So much fun.
It's because it became, like, the only thing anyone wanted to do, wanted to talk about. We'd be, like, hanging out at church and they'd be like, let's go outside and have a swing dancing party. And it's like...
This was also definitely something that I did at the time. And again, in North Carolina, and this was in 2012. But I would, like, there was a thing at this outdoor strip mall in North Carolina during the summer called Beach Music. And you would go, I think I talked about this in the birthday episode maybe, or some other episode. But you would go, a live band would be playing, and you would just swing dance for like 4 hours. Maybe not. Terrible. It was like, it was probably like 2 hours. There was
live concerts, terrible.
There was
swing
a Chick-fil-A
terrible.
And a Five Guys on, like, at the place. There was the movie theater was there. At this outdoor strip mall, and they like cut off the side streets and set up a dance floor, and it was a whole big thing. Man, what a time to be alive. But I do remember this with the Booth kids, making up our own routines, in quotes, swing dance routines and different moves, and like YouTubing different moves so that we could impress at Beach Music, and then like practicing them in what we were using as our youth room, like after hours, because I was at the time dating the worship leader who had keys. So we would just be in there with our friends, I think like 4 or 5 of us, like just looking up stuff and making up dances and the things that you do when you're 17. For what? Who knows?
Literally never did that.
It was a wild time. And then I also feel like I did all of that like chill hang stuff, but we didn't really have like a hang house. Like, it was kind of my house, but I feel like my house was like the one-on-one house. Like, I would have one friend over at a time and we would have like a one-on-one hang. But I didn't really do like groups of people at my house necessarily. My then boyfriend, his house was kind of maybe the hang house, but also not really. So I don't know. I feel like most of my interactions were one-on-one at my house, or I specifically remember like driving people around in my car and we would like just go and park somewhere and like hang out, which sounds sketchy, and it is. Like, I mean, I drove a 94 Honda Civic. It was a sketchy car in the backwoods of North Carolina, which is a sketchy time. And, but that was being a teenager. That was being 17. Mm-hmm. I had a pipe. That's a whole story. I mean, it's not that much of a story, but my mom let me buy this pipe, okay? She bought it for me from her Amazon, so don't at me. At her, I guess. I only smoked tea leaves, okay? And I only burned my mouth a little bit, and I only can't eat cinnamon now, so it's fine. It was a good time, though.
It sounds like a terrible time.
Well, I had a friend who was like really, not like, I mean, I guess I would probably consider her edgy. She was on like...
drugs?
No. She was on like the edge of the charismatic movement. Like, she was like dabbling into like perfect example is when I went and split to go to Ocean's Edge, she went to Bethel School of Supernatural Ministry. So that, if you know anything about that, we'll explain.
Bethel School for Supernaturally Gifted Youngsters?
Correct. And so, and she's, I mean, great friend, and like definitely helped with a lot of my spiritual development and personal relationship development with the Lord. But she was also just kind of like edgy.
The only drug she was on was the Holy Spirit.
You better believe it. Except for I think she probably smoked weed at some point too. Anyway, I never smoked weed. I just want to come on record and say I've never done drugs.
Weeds us.
But she had a tobacco pipe, and she was like looking for alternatives because she was also like, I think maybe she was a year older than me. So she was looking for alternatives to tobacco because she didn't want to be smoking tobacco. And so she came up with tea leaves, and the ones that she found that stayed packed and lit in a pipe were this apple cinnamon tea leaf brand. And so you just take a tea bag, you cut it open, you pack the leaves in, and you light it the way that you would like a pipe. It's not a big deal. Anyway, so I did the same. And I think something about heating the cinnamon in that way and like the vapors in my mouth somehow, like event like on down the line, now I have mouth sensitivity issues with cinnamon. So that's fun. Yeah. I have no idea. Because I did a lot of like...
I don't even know if that's actually true.
I did a lot of research at the time because I didn't want to be like... Because of a couple things. One, I'm a singer, so I didn't want to mess up my lungs. And two, I didn't want to like ingest anything that would... Like, once you heat an element, it changes its properties. And so it's like, well, I could maybe do like mint leaves or like, lavender or something like that. But I didn't want to like change it and hurt myself or my internal organs.
Right.
And so, and I definitely also, did not want to do tobacco.
Yeah, just because it's okay to look at doesn't mean it's okay to eat.
Right. But like, I mean, like we eat mint, that kind of thing. But I didn't know like how heating it would change it in a smoking way. Anyway, and the thing with like pipe smoking is you just keep it in your mouth. You don't, I mean, like obviously trace amounts will get into your lungs, but it's not something that you're like deeply inhaling into your lungs for any sort of effect. It's mostly just a mouth taste sort of situation. The mouth taste thing that you do.
I guess if that's what you do with your mouth.
Anyway, so I found this pipe on Amazon. It was like $15 and it came and I did that whole thing. And I would be if you guys can't already gather this about me, this will be very telling, but I would like go out on the porch on a summer night and smoke my pipe with my journal. Like I was that person.
I'm telling you, if you had access to a roof, you would have been sitting on the roof.
100%.
Yeah, I told you you'd be that from the girl from Disturbia.
Remember she's
on her roof journaling?
Yeah.
We were watching the movie and I was like, that was probably you as a teenager if you could have found yourself onto a roof. And I'm pretty sure I scoffed
at you, and then I recollected a time that I was on a roof with some friends on more than one occasion. So 100%, yeah. There was no roof access in my house to my roof, but I had a porch and a pipe. So yeah, that was one of those stupid things you did as a kid. That was me. I did that stupid thing. And the reason I say mouth sensitivity is because we went and got me allergy tested, and it was not an allergy thing.
Right.
But I don't know.
But you had a problem when you had
Listerine.
mouthwash.
Yeah.
You had a problem when you ate fajitas once.
Yeah. But I never I don't know.
Having a reaction to cinnamon.
Well, I feel like it started with cinnamon. The problem is, here's what happens. Is that it takes effect like 4 hours after whatever it was that I ate, is what I would notice, like between 2 and 4 hours after. And I would, like, my tongue would swell and it would turn like really dark colors. It was bad. And I thought it was an allergy thing, but it seems like it's just a mouth sensitivity thing to things that are in the extreme. So be it like extreme spicy or extreme, like the Listerine was extreme minty.
Or extreme blandness.
Or extreme cinnamon. I don't know. But I noticed it first and foremost with cinnamon, and I traced it back to that. But I just generally avoid cinnamon now, if at all possible. And nothing like, I mean, I don't die, obviously, but it's not comfortable, and it could be dangerous. My tongue doesn't swell too much, but swells enough to be uncomfortable. So, you know, but I did go and get allergy tested, and I didn't flag for any of the food allergies. Mm-hmm. I flagged for every single environmental, but not a single food allergy. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. And then I went to the dentist, and they were like, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Like literally everyone was just like, be careful.
I've never been
I've
never been to the dentist and been like, hey, I have this mouth or jaw problem, and they've been like, oh, okay, we can help you. It's like,
good luck.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Thanks,
Do you want another
appreciate
toothbrush? It's like,
yeah.
No, I want you to fix my mouth.
Because when you have like a jaw clicking or popping out of place problem.
Yeah, my jaw still clicks and cracks whenever I open it.
You'll have dentist. Oh gosh, nope, no, don't.
Everybody listen, this is my jaw.
Oh, it's terrible, I can't.
How's that? We always got to hit that ASMR section of the podcast.
Just
terrible. We'll just loop that.
Gross.
And I can exaggerate it and make it like pop even more. But yeah, and I don't know if it's wisdom teeth related or what.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But, and it's especially like if I'm like eating something that's like tough to chew on, it gets much worse. Like if I put like more pressure on like chewing my jaw, it definitely gets more aggravating than if I'm eating like mashed potatoes. Like
we love mashed potatoes.
Hardly even notice it.
Yeah. So those were my stories. That was my 17th year, and then I turned 18 that year. I started Ocean's Edge that year, and I came back, and then I turned 18 and got a tattoo and went to dinner. That was that birthday. We talked about that. Mm-hmm. And
I drove to college that year, and I believe that well, that was the first year I started college.
I was like college like an hour away.
No, it was like college like 20 minutes away.
Oh, well, there you go.
You went to college an hour away?
No, I went to college 12 hours away.
Okay, yeah. You went to college 3 minutes away from where you ended up living.
Oh, yes.
Okay. You didn't have to commute to college 12 hours every single time you wanted to go. Just sleep in the halls. I was thinking
for your internship, that was like a 45-minute drive in West.
Yeah, that was much later in my college career. That was probably like 2015,
I have no
16.
Idea. No. 2013 at the earliest. Or 14 at the latest.
No.
Yes, because were you still in that when we were dating?
Yeah.
Okay, so then 2015, I should say, at the latest.
Literally, like I just said, 2015.
Okay, whatever. Rolling my eyes if you can't see on camera.
Yeah, but I
20-minute college commute.
College, and just look at me now.
Did you get a job that year? I got my first job that year.
No, I didn't get a job until we started dating because I was going to school full time.
Yep. And I was also...
We're like, whatever.
I was also going to school full time, and I didn't get a job until I had to later for, like, living purposes. But I didn't get a job until I was 17.
Right. Like, if I'd have, like, gone away to school or been living on my own, I would have had to have a job, but...
Right.
I just lived with my parents and went to school full time.
I'm jealous.
I was hoping to find a... wife who was able to support me, and I was going to be a stay-at-home dad.
What a time that would have been for you. Don't we love that gender role? I mean, the only thing that I can think of that I would have even been remotely good at enough to be able to support both of us is if I had actually ended up on Broadway or something like that. But then it's like, at what cost, you know? Because when would I have ever been home?
I would have never met you also. I would have never been to New York or Broadway.
That's also true.
So.
But I'm just saying, like, say we, got married and you were like, I want to be a stay-at-home dad, I'd be like, okay, well, this is the only thing that I'm even halfway decent at that I could make a living for us with. And so it would have had to have been acting in some variety for me to support the two of us. Mm-hmm. But like I said, at what cost? I would have never been around. Like, we've all seen you haven't probably seen, sorry, but we've all seen the toll that community theater can take on a relationship, just from a time commitment perspective. And that's community theater. Not even getting paid for that, So at the level of that it would have required of me to be in rehearsals and that kind of stuff at a professional level, I would have never even been home. Like, what kind of relationship do you have after that?
Yep.
Unless you were in it with me.
Yep. So here we are at the end of all things. Don't forget to go give the government a new picture of yourself.
Fast forward 10 years. New. The year 2022.
Oh, we're doing...
No, we're not. I'm just saying we're just caught. We're back to speed. We fast forwarded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we were back in the past, and now we're back to the future.
2013 through 2021.
Yeah, who cares about that?
We care about.
That was only our entire relationship.
We care about 2013 next year.
Exactly. I don't think anything beneficial happened to me in 2013. Truly, not like a single thing I can remember.
We're getting old enough where we can start doing 20-year reviews. Yeah. Like, where were you 20 years ago?
I was in Southern California and my mom just got married again. It's like nothing has happened. Nothing has changed.
2003. I have no idea what was going on.
Well, 2002.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I was thinking next year
I was
already.
leaving second grade. I was 6. Sorry. I was going to turn 7. I just turned 6. I was exiting second grade and I was moving to the west side of California or the east side of California to live in the desert.
Oh, probably playing with Legos.
That checks out. What else was I doing? My mom had 10 dachshunds. That was that time. Or she started collecting dachshunds at that time. In 2002.
I'm thinking about blurring out my face for this episode just so the government can't get my current
what your current face looks like. They can just take it from like September of last year.
Or last week's podcast. But they won't know that I gave myself the Dr. Phil haircut.
Oh, rip. They don't know that we know that they know we know. Classic.
But if they did know, they wouldn't know.
They wouldn't know.
Because I lied about everything to them.
Exactly.
My entire life.
Who are you? What is your name?
What is my name?
I don't know. So anyway, reflect on the last 10 years. If it's your 10-year high school reunion, welcome. Congratulations on being old, just like us.
Yeah. And if you have to reflect, remember, like, you can even look in, like, the toilet. It's a body of water that you can see your reflection
Lord have
in.
mercy. Please do not look.
Can you imagine if your only mirror was the toilet water?
It's tragic.
I need to see
what is it, a prison toilet?
Look in the mirror. That is my toilet.
There's some sort of like really sad analogy for life in there, and I just don't want to find it.
I'm just thinking of the dog. I was thinking of the dog that looks in the river, sees himself with the bone, gets jealous, barks, drops his bone, loses everything, you know?
I've never heard of that one.
You've never heard that?
No.
I'll tell you after this podcast, because I assume everyone else knows what I'm talking about.
That's amazing.
So then I was like, oh, a human, they could look in, and I was like, there aren't usually just rivers by people's houses. Or not like everyone has a toilet, you know?
Everyone has a toilet.
Not everyone has a river.
And on that note,